Hey everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. If you know anybody that is in the PU community, forward this video to them. Please like this video, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and please comment. Comments help. Whether you put good job, bad job, cool video, horrible video, just put something. If you have a question, that also helps the algorithm. So if you don't know already, I have been a BSIS firearm instructor since 2010. We're in 2013 going into 2014. By April, I would have, at least on paper, been a BSIS firearm instructor for 14 years. Now, most of the time, I have not been instructing. I've been consulting with other firearm instructors, but I haven't been doing a lot of the requalifications or the qualifications for the initial permit. After reading the revisions in law that was set forth by Assemblyman Christopher Holden when he wrote Assembly Bill 229, I am not going to certify anybody anytime soon. And I hope that if you're watching this video, that you say the same thing. And here is why. There are so many revisions. There's so much new content in the firearms manual, the BSIS firearms training manual, that you have to spend almost like a whole day, maybe even 2 days, going over the content. If you have some type of PowerPoint presentation or some type of presentation where you have slides or even maybe visual aids, you're going to have to go back and look at the revisions and see what is new and make modifications. There are tons and tons of new things that have to be done. The course of fire is all whacked up. If you have somebody with a revolver on the firing line, if you're running range and you have, let's just say you're 10 guys that are running, or 9 guys that are running semis, and then you have one revolver, you have to actually, you have to create a new line for the revolver guys. Basically, you're gonna have to wait until all the semi guys are over firing and then do the revolver guys. This can take more time. If you run a TIF or TFF facility in the state of California, that's basically your training firearm facility license in California. You might want to think about maybe getting some overtime in or budgeting for overtime, because more or less, I'm thinking maybe, depending on the actual shooter, maybe about 30 minutes extra, because you're gonna have to do something separate for the revolver guys. And the course of fire is different for revolvers than it is with the guys that are shooting the semis. It's crazy because they've eliminated the 15-yard requirement for revolvers, the revolver guys, or one of them. No, I'm sorry, the 10-yard requirement, and changed it with 7. And then the semi-autos on certain iterations of the courses of fire, they get more time to fire than the semi guys. So it's almost like discrimination against the revolvers. They're just, it's bad. And they're also, BSIS, in my opinion, they are teaching armed security to die. You have a armed security training manual. Notice I said armed security, right? Armed security training manual. And there's a new active shooter active shooter module in there, right? And what they're training you to do is run, hide, and fight. Run, hide, and fight is for your civilians, your non-police personnel. And technically, as a security officer that is contracted to protect some of these properties, contracted to protect against active shooter incidents, you fall into the law enforcement category where there is no run, hide, and fight. Okay, it's fight. So I don't know why BSIS would suggest that if you're armed security that you run away. Now, obviously that would depend on the number of assailants or attackers. I mean, there's so many other variables, but that's not you're not supposed to use the same model for private security. It's a different model. Why BSIS? And then towards the end, they discuss that if you're able to you should take down the shooter. Like, come on, you guys. Somebody copied and pasted this from some manual, maybe the federal model, but this whole manual is totally screwed up. I mean, they're really training you to die, my honest opinion here. If you're a firearms trainer, and also if you're a student, you have to use the different shooting techniques that they want you to learn. So it's one-handed, isosceles stance, weaver, and then modified weaver. Those are the only techniques that you can use, which is total BS. So what I teach in my law enforcement classes and security classes is basically like kind of like a modified isosceles, maybe a modified weaver, but basically this is how the weaver stance trains security to die. So we're assuming that you're armed security and you wear body armor, right? Okay, and then this is your body armor. This is an old carrier that I used to have. I replaced this with my TAC 11 carrier, which is a higher quality than this one. Anyhow, so look, what I would train my trainees is you have your vest right here, okay? And because of the camera and I only have 2 hands, I'm going to have to talk you through this. So what I do is this, okay? You have your vest or your carrier. And what I'm training, what law enforcement trainers generally train is square up on the target, just like this, okay? The threat is there or there, okay? Wherever the threat's at, threat's over here, square, okay? You want the most of your body armor presented towards that person, okay? Just imagine, body armor, and it's gonna be directed straight flat to that person, like smack flat. When you start getting into the weaver stance, which require a 45-degree angle, and I say required because the BSIS Firearms manual described how the weaver stance has to be taught. But you're basically at a 45-degree angle. Okay, this is more or less 45-degree angles towards the threat. Well, what am I doing when I'm at 45 degrees? Okay, I want you to concentrate on this area right here. A lot of you guys who are running the plate carriers don't have side armor. I have side armor on my TAC 11 carrier, not this one. This is my previous active shooter kit, which I have since replaced. But look, there is no side armor, or if there's side armor, it's limited. Okay, this is an area of vulnerability. You're opening this area right here, because look at 45 degrees. I'm opening this area, and then there's a pocket right over here. If you wear soft body armor or hard body armor, I want you to see where the vulnerabilities are on your sides, and they're most likely right here. Why in the hell am I teaching somebody or requiring them to use this stance? That doesn't make any sense. I want them flat or facing the target, just like this. And there's some footwork that I want to show you, but I can't. I'm over here in my garage filming, and I only have 2 hands, and my camera is rested up against a folder right now. Okay, I see just showing them, hey, try this technique, try that technique, try this technique, 100%. But to require them to use these different techniques during the course of fire, that is just wrong. And that, from what I'm reading from the regulations, that's what it says. And I'll copy and paste a link in the description box to the newest regulations so that you can see. There's hundreds of pages, dozens of pages of new content. But this is ridiculous. Now, is this the only technique? You're basically modified isosceles, and I can't show you my legs because we're right here. But is that the only technique that you should be teaching individuals? And my answer to you is absolutely not. I know a lot of people that have maybe shoulder surgery, and the highest that they can bring up the gun is right here. So is it okay? Okay, is it okay if they hold their hand just like this? When they draw, they hold their hand. Is it okay if they bring it up like this and fire? And my answer to you is absolutely. It looks ugly. It does not look like something that anybody would teach you, but we also should be teaching to people with disabilities. And remember, just because you have a disability, that does not exclude you, that should not exclude you for armed security. I just talked to a guy right now, one of our subscribers. He's, how tall did he say he was? He was like almost 7 foot tall, 350 pounds. Okay, that guy will squash you. He'll flick you with his finger and you'll be gone. Like the flick or the flea, the tick or the flea that some of you are. I'm not referring to you guys, but you know, there's some other people. But anyhow, there's some people with disabilities out there that they have to adapt to different techniques. So this technique, okay, I don't know what you call this, but what you're doing is you're using a support hand on your strong side, grabbing, using your support hand to allow your strong hand support, okay, just like this, and you're shooting like this weird screwed up technique, but it works for some people who have disabilities, okay? So I understand the need to show people different techniques, but not to require them. I don't know, guys. It's gonna take me, like, if I want to do BSIS classes, it's gonna take me about a week. I mean, I really want to get this locked down. I want to really understand the changes, and these changes are effective immediately. Okay, they're effective immediately. If you're a BSIS firearm instructor, there's a new certificate of proficiency form that you have to create. BSIS, they haven't created their own form. It's like you got to make up this form now. Anyhow, there's a lot of changes in law that we'll be discussing pretty soon. Give me about 2 weeks, and sooner or later, I will upload 2023, 22, 21 new amendments to laws. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know for sure. All right, guys, take care. Be safe.